Hi, I'm Daniel Sawblade.
And I'm Cartoon Ryan.
Today we're going to talk about one of the greatest comic team-ups ever, Will Eisner and Wally Wood,
Oh, yeah.
The Outer Space Spirit, published by Kitchen Sink Press in 1982.
Let's do it.
All right. So today we're going to talk about this book. I know, Ryan, you're a big Will Eisner fan,
Oh, yeah.
and so am I. I love Wally Wood.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
So this was a team up that I had no idea about. And I didn't read through the comics. I kind of briefed. There's a forward and then there's an introduction, which I skimmed through earlier today to kind of prepare for the video. But from what I can understand, by the 50s, the Spirit was, as a strip, was kind of struggling in sales. So at this time, Wally Wood was gaining notoriety at EC for his comics for weird science and weird fantasy, which that's a whole nother
Yeah.
topic of discussion. I have those we should look at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So Will Eisner approached Wallace Wood to help him out with the strip. And what's interesting is that when I looked at it just briefly, I was like, well, did he draw all these? Because Will Eisner's still signing them. So the impression I got is that I think Will Eisner, because here's this thing I didn't know. Wally Wood helped out Will Eisner when he was 15 in the 40s and drew backgrounds.
Okay. So they knew each other previously.
He did, and there's an example of him drawing a background at the age of 15, which is just mind-boggling.
Wow.
So I think again he wanted him to do backgrounds for the Spirit, and he was like, "I'm not into that." So the person that was doing the script for the comic was doing layouts, and he said, cool, well, could you follow the layouts of the writer? And comic historians who any of you out there just happen to catch this one, correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I only went through the material kind of quick, but this writer here, Jules,
Actually, that way. Yeah.
Jules
Pfeiffer.
yeah, also did the layouts for the comic. But like I said, I only went through this. That's an old EC thing. Went through the introduction briefly. But yeah, here's where he did a panel. Wallace Wood did that when he was 15.
15.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So we just do a quick flip through of this. Again, what I gather is that the writer would do these layouts and scripts, and then Wallace Wood would go back and then
Lay it all out, I guess.
do the pencils. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. See, man, here we go.
Look at that duo shade on that moon. So as you see, excuse me, Will Eisner's signing it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Wallace Wood.
Yeah, that's not Will Eisner art at all. I guess he's just putting his name on it since he created the character.
It's his character.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is definitely Wally Wood. Wow, the moon surface is just
breathtaking, right?
Just out. It's just so neat to see the craters and the shadows.
Yeah.
Craters within the craters.
Pulling off that reflection in that window,
Yeah.
the way he did was pretty incredible. These were published in the 50s, and I don't know if this was newspaper or comic. Newspaper comic or comic
My
book.
guess would be that it was a comic book, just because of the way everything's laid out.
Yeah. Comic strips are
usually just squares. Yeah. Or they were.
Horizontal.
Yeah, horizontal,
Yeah.
left to right. Little strips.
Yeah.
They
So
weren't.
apparently this is a comic.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
A master at shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Now a lot of this tech was used a lot in EC. He would pull off this tech stuff.
It's really cool to see his use of shadows. Like you look here with this guy, and then you see him again without the. It's just really cool to get that dynamic.
And he's famous for that double lighting.
Yeah. It's really neat to see that.
Now,
breaks up the monotony,
Right here, that's total EC stuff. That spacesuit. So yeah, boost sales, put the spirit in space.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, Dick Tracy went to space.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he later on.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, everybody was going to space at one point. Wow, that right there.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that I think is the cover. Yeah. What's the
close
cover?
to it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's the cover. That's the cover. Yeah.
Well, minus that.
Yeah, but I mean that's a big portion of it.
That's the cover.
Yeah, that's really. That is just. That's iconic as hell, man. That's so neat.
When I'm drawing faces, I forget that plane, the face.
Yeah,
it's really something to think about that he was just able to capture.
He captured every crevice of that face.
Yeah,
and it really does give off the illusion that there's light. Really hard lights hitting him from the sun. The sun's hitting him.
52 is when this stuff was published, and this book was published in 82.
Okay,
so there's like
30 years later.
30 years later, yeah.
Wow, man, oh man.
Here we go again with this texture in the craters.
That is so marvelous, man. It's just those craters. I can't get over it.
I don't know if see this like mid-tone here?
Yeah.
You could do that by hand, but I think he's using a screen to achieve that. Because, see, some of them are really precise and I think almost repeat.
Yeah.
That's definitely a screen back there for the Earth.
Yeah, everybody was going to the moon before we actually did it
Right.
in real life. Everybody was on that moon. I laugh at the big glass bowls for the helmets. That's really funny.
It's really really dates it. It's a little like your Mars Attacks vibe.
Yeah.
Masterful cartooning. When I was looking through this earlier today, the pages were falling out and I glued them back in. So we're going to be talking about that glue.
Yeah.
And here we go again with these layouts.
There's a lot of text going on. I wonder.
There really is. And I remember us talking about it and like the different ways of writing a comic. This is kind of the way I would approach it, but with less text. But there was also a script that I think was written, which a lot of comic writers break their writing down into panels,
Oh, okay.
which there's an example of that.
Laughing at that title.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if they...
And DP and other things.
I don't know.
Means something else, but that's another issue. Wow, dude, look at the inside of the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Very reminiscent.
He's got the bolts, like all the rivets and everything, and the
Yeah, it really is. Well, I didn't prepare for that. I was going to show off some of the EC stuff, but yeah, it really parallels to that sci-fi stuff he was doing back then. Well, in those other books. This is another thing I was going to say. In between doing this comic, he was also working at EC full time.
wow.
So that's just how prolific the dude
and
was.
to do both of those things at once like that and produce this kind of quality
That's just mind blowing.
that's where you can't fathom it. And look at that. Look at the gray.
Yeah, it's like a screen.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This is really cool. That's pretty epic looking.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the surface of the moon, it's like he nailed it.
This is unmistakable Wallace Wood face.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Spirit is asked to take trip to the moon. Would supervise convict space legion. Oh, okay, cool. That's actually a cool concept. You're sending the convicts to the moon. It's kind of like it's the new Australia, basically.
right. Now, this is where I think it's Will Eisner, because look how loose it's getting. Like, doesn't that look like Will Eisner?
Yeah, that's the thing with him. With Will Eisner, it starts to get kind of the cartoony route at the same time. I don't know if that's him all the way. It wouldn't shock me.
I mean, that doesn't look like Wallace Wood anymore.
No, it doesn't. But I just can't tell.
I mean,
It's definitely not like this stuff that you see. Maybe somebody just had to fill in those 2 pages or something.
Yeah. No, this is back to being more. Wally
Interesting.
Wood,
I bet those are just 2 pages where somebody had to come in and do it. Look at that.
It's amazing.
Yeah. The last man on the planet moon.
This car here.
Yeah.
And then he goes into the phone. Look at the phone in the phone booth. If that doesn't date it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a phone booth, man. Good Lord.
Well,
you don't even see those around anymore.
Right. I mean, I remember.
But
I'm talking about that.
The phone, though. Yeah, with the receiver up to the ear and the... Yeah. Man. So much going on in each panel. And here we are again with the shadows, like the heavy blacks. I love that. That's something I want to improve on myself. Wow. Look at that. Like a regular type gun in
Shooting
space.
it on the moon. That's funny. This is beautiful here.
Yeah, that moon is just bumpy and cratery. Wow.
Pretty good lesson in cartooning.
It really is. And also just shadow placement to make it like your lighting.
Yeah.
To pull it off really well. Dude. I don't think people realize how good they had it in the 50s when in the back in the day with comics, how well drawn they were compared to what's going on, in the more modern times. I'm not trashing every, modern
this is
workers,
definitely the
but
golden age.
look at the work. It's just like animation, same thing. The golden age of animation.
There's that background again. That spaceship background.
Spaceship. Yeah. Got a side view of it here.
Okay, here's the part where I think it's Will Eisner. Don't you think that's Will Eisner?
That's partly him at least.
I don't know. That just doesn't look like Wallace Wood to me. Wouldn't you say this is Will Eisner?
It's close to his style. If he was emulating it, maybe. I don't know.
It just doesn't look like Wallace Wood.
No, right there, that doesn't anymore. Yeah, I wonder if this was Will.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's definitely not Wallace Wood. I mean,
we're confused, guys, because it's signed. It's all signed by.
Yeah.
Will Eisner, and in the foreword, it wasn't too clear to me. Again, I'd skimmed through it.
Yeah, it probably says more in detail who did what.
But I definitely know previously that was Wallace Wood.
Oh, yeah. It's really great to see these pencils, though, loosely laying out the panels with all this text.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Really cool to see that part of it,
Now, this is what I was talking about. This coupled with... This is what Brandon did when I did my comic.
Oh, okay.
Page 1, panel 2, and it describes what's going on in each panel.
That's very educational.
And that's what you draw from.
Yeah.
Not that it was always done that way, but
it gives you an idea.
This is one way you do it. Yeah,
that's real. Yeah, I've always wondered.
You didn't know that?
Well, I always wondered exactly how it was done. I've always had an issue with that in my head. Like, how do you know?
Page 1, and you describe what's going on each panel. Yeah.
Very cool.
Or
that's definitely Will Eisner that drew that.
Yeah. Well, see, some of that has that loose quality though over here.
I think it's him.
See?
Back here on these pages, like you said.
That's totally
the line art's different. It's thicker.
Well, it's just
looser. It's thicker. It's looser.
More
it's cartoony. Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, I love that shit too.
Oh yeah.
Wow, dude, that close up of that thing we saw earlier with the reflection of that that close up of that one panel. And look at that. You can see the craters behind mixing in with the reflection.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, man.
Really good.
Yeah.
Earth in the background.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Wally Wood and Will Eisner, that's for sure.
So this is just a quick flip through. Sorry we're not as educated on the details on that, but I just thought it'd be cool to show where both minds are coming together on a comic strip.
Yeah, it's really neat to see that.
I think it's great.
Me too.
Yeah.
Two legends, man. That was a great find.
We're gonna absolutely. I found this cheap too, because later I looked online and it goes for a lot.
Yeah.
In some places, but yeah, I picked this up for $20.
Oh wow.
At Kaboom Books.
Good find.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Will Eisner and Wally Wood, two of our favorites, and we're gonna, at least on this channel, as far as it goes, we're gonna keep diving into both artists.
Oh yeah, we'll have a lot of this, lot of books from the same artist multiple times because gotta share what we love.
Big fans. Anyway,
cool.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Catch you on the next review and like and subscribe.